Hey, what's up? So today I'm gonna be talking about. This is like the official travel vlog for Amsterdam. I know y'all been saying like, when you gonna do the travel vlog, whoop de whoop. But okay, like it's coming. I've been telling y'all 2020. I said 2020. It is what, May? So I really got about 7 months left of 2020. So I could make y'all wait, or I could lie like Rihanna did with her album, but I ain't like that. I'm gonna stick to my word. So today we're gonna be talking about like my experiences with Amsterdam, also things to do, some things that I did personally, things to look out for, and some tips of stuff to bring for when you're there if you do plan on going. So yeah. So off the rip, my first impression was obviously getting off of the plane, going through the airport customs and stuff. Their process is actually very like established. Like you get there, they have their European entry. So if you're already like a citizen of Amsterdam or well the Netherlands, then you just go straight through your line. You scan your passport. If you're not a citizen, you have to go through this line. The line, anytime that I've been to Amsterdam, the line is not long. So I'm assuming it's safe to say that the line is not long. I think it took about maybe, I would say about 30 minutes to get out of the airport from getting off of the plane, which isn't bad compared to like some places I've been that took 2 hours. So yeah, that was that. The first thing that I noticed about it, so I will say, me personally, as you already know, I've said this in the last video, my intent when it comes to, the travel vlog is to kind of bring light for Black people or people that don't feel like they fit in with the norm of certain places can actually go and travel. That being said, like I got in the airport, I will say this. My first time going to Amsterdam, I was scared. I actually didn't go my first time going, the first time I was supposed to go, because when I got to the gate to go on the plane, there was nothing but white people. And I was like, I don't know how this is gonna be. I don't want to go there and be the one Black person there and then y'all jump me when I get there. Like, no. So I looked over, and then I looked across the hall, the terminal or whatever. There was a flight to Germany, and so I switched my flight to Germany because they had Black people going on that plane. I said, all right, y'all, we finna go together. Like, what's up? I wish I would have went to Amsterdam, but at the time I was like, oh, hell no, bitch. Like, you're not about to get me. And I just knew how Amsterdam was. Like, from what I've heard, about, like, people get there, get high and shit like that. And I was like, y'all ain't finna get me. Like, y'all not about to set me up. But I will say, my second attempt at going, when I actually went, it was very, like, the same situation. Nothing but white people on this plane. Not a single person of color. Not even an Asian person. No, nobody brown at all. I think I saw one Indian lady, and I was like, maybe this is okay. Maybe I'll just walk around with her. I don't know. Maybe this is a good sign. But I got there, so on the plane and like in the airport and shit, there was nobody Black. Then when I got there, like you get out the gate and off the plane and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? I felt like I had landed in New York City. Like, it was so diverse. Like, it was shocking, honestly. I was like, what the hell? Did not expect this. What the fuck? Like, where did all these people come from? So that was that. That was like my first impression, just noticing how diverse it is. Like, you see cultures that you hear about, but you don't necessarily see them. Like, in the States, at least. Or at least, like, the hot spots. Like, New York City, Miami, Atlanta. You don't really see a lot of different cultures. Like, you do, but not as much as I've seen in Amsterdam. It was crazy. So the next topic is like transportation to and from the airport. So actually coming from the airport, they have a train that they actually, which is so perfect. Like, a lot of places don't have this. A lot of fucking places don't have this. They have a direct train from the airport to the city, which was perfect. I could have cried. I was like, oh, this is so easy. Like, yes. Thank you. The train, literally, you go out the airport where the terminals and like they all meet and whatever. You get a little train ticket. Please get a ticket. You're gonna see a lot of people just walking straight on the train. Don't be that person because they're gonna get locked up when they get off the train. So don't do it. A lot of people, they have like basically the little terminals. You can put it in whatever language you need, whether it's English, Espanol, Dutch, whatever. They speak Dutch out there, but their English is unmatched. Okay, like they speak better English than me, and it's crazy because they're so good in English that they use English like American slang. Like you could say "What's up," and they'd be like, "Oh, what's up, man?" "Oh, what's up, bro?" Well, it's like, what? But yeah, so you get on the train. I think the train ticket to go to the city was like $5. My personal recommendation, you don't have to listen to me. And if you don't listen to me, you're going to fuck your own self up. Get the multi-day pass. You need the train ticket. So there's two types of train tickets. There's one that gets you on the main train that gets you from the airport to the city. But then you can get but you can get a separate ticket where you get multiple uses, unlimited usage for I think it was like €10, if I had to guess, or like €7 or something like that. Get it, okay? Because you're gonna think like, oh, I'm just going around Amsterdam, I don't need it. But you can go from stop to stop to stop in Amsterdam and use that one pass, and you don't need to do it like over and over again. And then that worked out for me because, the first time I went, it worked out for me because I literally used that the entire time. The only time I had to buy anything separate was when I was going back to the airport. That was it. And that's just perfect, right? Like, come on. One ticket for $7 a day. Like, that was just, like, perfect. Another way of travel around Amsterdam is a lot of people use bikes. Like, bikes are so prevalent there. It's so prevalent that you really need to watch out for them because they be moving on them motherfucking bikes, bitch. Like, I almost died maybe 3 times from people on their bikes just booking it, And then, like, you be walking and you about to cross the street and, you about to go where the cars are. But you got to remember, there's bikes coming too. And they not playing. They be really, I'm like, oh, shit. Like, damn. They be moving on them fucking bikes, bitch. So, one of my personal favorite things about Amsterdam, again, besides diversity, is the fact that they have these cute little buildings. And I call them little quirky buildings. And if you ever look up a picture of it, I'll probably add it right here. The buildings are just so cute to me. And it's a vibe. Another thing about Amsterdam is that it has this little eerie vibe, which I'm kind of into. Like, cloudy weather is like my favorite thing in the world. But in Amsterdam, it was like cloudy the entire time. And everybody was just vibing in it. It did get sunny for a little bit, so I'm pretty sure it just so happened to be the time that I went, it was like that. But I went to Amsterdam twice, and both times I went, it was super eerie, so I don't know. Because it was also like winter, spring time. So actually it was straight up winter. Okay, so things to do in Amsterdam. Amsterdam, they have a lot. So if you're into art, they have a Van Gogh museum. Because that was like where he's from, I guess. If you don't know who Van Gogh is, you're not into art. But if you are into art and you know who Van Gogh is, they have his museum there with all of his like famous work. Potentially, I feel as though my videos are going to become monetized in the future. So I can't talk about certain stuff. But I will talk about it. But I'm just going to use a different term for it. So we're going to call it the Green Monster. Amsterdam is famous for the Green Monster. So much as though you can actually get it on the street. Not on the street. Don't get it on the street because they might have some mixed up shit up in there. But you can go to a coffee shop. They have two things. They have cafes and then they have coffee shops. You would think it's the same thing if you're an American, you're like, oh, the little cafe, they sell coffee. You're correct. The cafe sells coffee. The coffee shop sells coffee, but they also sell the little green monster. Now, with the little green monster part of it, you go in a coffee shop, and it was so funny because on some real shit, I walked up in there and I was like, I had just got off this flight. It was like 8 in the morning, 9 o'clock latest, and I'm like, I gotta be walking around until, check in for my hotel at 2. Like, I need a little pick me up. So I went to what I saw was a coffee shop closer to it was actually in the red light district, but it's just at the time I didn't know it was the red light district. So I walked in there and I was like, yeah, I'm just looking for I just want some coffee so I can sit around and, regroup myself while I'm waiting. And the lady looked at me like, oh, you want coffee? And I was like, yeah. And then I remembered where I was, and I was like, oh, wait. Because they had a whole green monster menu. And I was like, oh, wait. Also, you add that in there too. But let me go ahead and sit down with this coffee and my green monster and vibe out while I wait until 2 o'clock. Which was the best thing ever because I literally was in such a vibe the whole time, waiting all that time for my hotel room. Now, I wanted to go to the Anne Frank Museum the day that I got there. I wanted to go there so bad. I've been wanting to go there since I was a kid. I will say one thing about the Anne Frank house that I've heard prior to going there is that it's one, very hard to get there. Not hard to get to it, but hard to get inside. 2, I've heard that people buy tickets, wait in line, and don't even get in. So I was kind of like, I feel like this is going to waste my time. Me, I'm not the type of person to go by what people say. And it benefits me every single time. Had I listened to people saying oh, you got to book that in advance. You got to book that months in advance. I would have been looking stupid because I would have booked it in advance. And I would have been able to get in without all of that. So it was like, okay. Every morning at 9, they sell tickets for that day and then the next day at 9 o'clock. At 8, I think we landed at 8. And I was looking on there okay, let me see if I can buy a ticket online. They were sold out. But then on the thing it says you can buy a ticket at 9 o'clock for today or tomorrow. Now, so me being me, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I think I was actually on my way to the city. So 9 o'clock hits, and I go on the phone, and I'm like, okay, let me get this ticket really quick before, because in my mind, I'm like, people are waiting for this, a Beyonce concert ticket. You got to buy that shit right at 9 o'clock. So I go in there, and then it's like, all right, it's sold out for today. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, you know what, it's okay, because I'm here for a few days. This will work. I'm just gonna buy it for tomorrow, and then I'm just gonna get up early, wait in line for all that time, and then have my shit together. But I knew I wanted to go walk around that night, and I wanted to see the red light district. I got up the next morning, and I'm like, cool. I gotta get up early so I can get to this Anne Frank house. If I don't go to this Anne Frank house, my whole trip is ruined because that was my sole purpose of going to Amsterdam. Got there and I stand in the line and the lady's like, can I see your ticket? And I was like, oh yeah, what's up? So I show her the ticket. She was like, oh no, you don't go and you don't wait here. You gotta wait. You gotta do something while you wait. This is for the 9:30 line. They don't let you get in line until 15 minutes prior to your ticket time. And I'm like, so you mean I came out here all early to be sitting around looking stupid? Okay. So did that. There's a little cafe around the corner, and it's an actual cafe, not a coffee shop. Remember, coffee shops, Green Monster, cafes, coffee. So I went to the little cafe around the corner, got me a little breakfast, and then I just sat there and waited. And I came around 9:45, I think, and got in the line, and there was nobody in the line. It was just me and maybe 15 other people. But I did it as the package where you go in and they, rerun you up on the history of Anne Frank and the house and the war, all of that, which I highly recommend. Do not go in there without doing the little informational thing because you hear about it here in the States. But then to go there where it actually happened, it puts it in a different perspective. and it really gives you a lot of information that you did not know about the situation. So it was really interesting to hear that. Then afterwards you go inside. So they don't let you film in there at all. No phones. Like, you can have your phone, but you better not take a picture. They're kicking your ass out. So I did not want to risk that, because I'm like, no, I have to go and see all of this. And it was so nice to see. It's really interesting, like, to actually be where you read up on this as a kid and you hear about it all the time. You watch both movies, the real one that was made, and then the other one that was made that was actually better than the original one. We ain't gonna get into that. So to just be there in that presence, like, to see, like, wow, this is where, she was. This is like, wow, okay, cool. And you walk around the house, they give you like a little like an audio tour while you're looking around at everything. It's really, if you go to Amsterdam, please go to the Anne Frank house. It's really worth it. I promise you. I'm not just saying that. Right now, I'm on my way to the red light district, which I never really knew about until recently, actually. But I'm gonna go check it out, see what it's all about. Okay, so next topic is the red light district. So as you know, in the red light district, you can pay for women. You don't really want to film there either. A lot of the places in Amsterdam don't let you film, actually, which is like, But it's nice to hear about stuff and then see it in person, like, to get your own perspective and your own view about it. So basically, you go past a series of windows, and like, it's not just like one street. It's like a district, a literal district of people that have like windows set up, and on top it's like a bar, or it'll be like a restaurant with like downstairs, they have like the windows with the red lights behind them. And if the windows are closed, they're servicing, and if it's not closed, they're ready to serve. Okay, so next thing is food. I will address this now and let you guys know, like, if you feel a certain type of way because of it, that's fine. I'm not a foodie. Never been, never will be. But I do like to try at least like one meal when I go somewhere, like, off of a diet. So in Amsterdam, I had like I just wanted like a burger and fries just to see what it tasted like. So I will say in Amsterdam, they use mayonnaise instead of ketchup. But it's not the same type of mayo you would have in the States. Mayonnaise there tastes better than our ketchup, which was mind-blowing. They have a famous fry spot, and it's like the most famous one in Holland. And you go there, you tell them what you want. You get like a cone of fries, and you pick your sauce. I tried like the herbal mayonnaise or something like that, and it was so good. It was so bomb. And I had like barbecue sauce too, just to try it. And barbecue sauce, both were very amazing. I also went to like a New York pizza spot. Got pizza, wings, and desserts. Desserts in Europe don't match to the United States, okay? If you have dessert in Europe, you'll never really care for sweets in the States. You're gonna be like, this is trash. Take me back to Europe. Like, and it's any European country I've been to, the dessert is way better. Another thing that I did while I was there, I went to Dam Square, or it's probably Dam Square, D-A-M Square. And in that area, it's literally like a square with like buildings around it. And then if you find like little paths, they have like little shopping areas that all meet up in that square. It's in the middle of Amsterdam, like very smack dab in the middle. It's not far from the Anne Frank house. So if you wanted to do like a day trip, you could really put all of that together, because it's actually what I did. I went to the Anne Frank house and then walked around to Dam Square. Literally walked to it. Did not take a train, nothing. Just walked from here to here. So things to look out for in Amsterdam. Don't go to Amstel, okay? You will look online and you will look for a cheap hotel rate that you can get a good room for. I'm also going to do another video to show you how to get like 60% off of any hotel not any hotel, but hotel rates for when you travel, and it'll save you a lot of money. But apart from that, don't go to Amstel. This is me telling you, don't go to Amstel. You're going to want to go there because you're going to be like, oh, it's so much cheaper. Oh, it's just a ferry across the water. Oh my God, it's right there. Don't do it. Don't do it. It takes 30 minutes to get from your hotel to Amsterdam if you catch the ferry. If you don't catch the ferry. If you do catch the ferry, it'll take you about 15 minutes to get to Amsterdam on a boat. But that being said, now they end the service at like 12 midnight. Everything in Amsterdam is like, it's fun to be in the city at like after midnight. That's when like all the tourists go home and you get to really experience Amsterdam culture after midnight. So it's like, that's the time that you want to be there, and that's the time that the ferry ends, which makes sense for the tourists not to be there, because all these tourists got to get back by 12 because they've gotten these cheap hotel rates. You know, they're like, oh, I'm going to Amsterdam where it's cheap, whoop de whoop. So, and then the train, I think, stops running at like 12 or maybe 1. I want to say 12. So that's when all the tourists leave. But you can take buses around. So if you stay in the city, you'll have the time of your life, because you can be out all night. It's not dangerous. Like, people will say like Amsterdam is so dangerous, like, but it's not. Like, everybody's in a whole vibe. Like, it's such a vibe. I'm sure they have like crime, but I didn't experience that. And I was by myself. This was literally a solo trip. I went twice by myself, had no issues. Another thing to look out for in Amsterdam is stairs. Like, I know that's like an odd thing to say. Their stairs are so steep. It is ridiculous. Like, I'm going to show you right here, like how they look. The stairs are like, it's like you go down and it's like, it's like you're just really you're focusing more on not falling than getting downstairs. And it's so weird. I don't really have much to talk about with that, but that's just something to look out for. So overall, Amsterdam is honestly one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a few cities in my life. Amsterdam is the only place that I went back to back, and just love it that much. If I had to live outside of the country, it would be Amsterdam. So yeah, so that's Amsterdam. If you have any questions, ask below, or send me a DM on Instagram at j.96_. I also have Twitter, but I don't really use it, even though I have like more of a following on Twitter than I do what the hell is wrong with me? Than I do Instagram. But yeah, so Instagram at j.96_. That's all. So that's all I got. So would I recommend Amsterdam? Absolutely, for any race, not just black people, any race. Like, it is so diverse. You'll feel welcome. That people are really cool. It's such a vibe, and I'm not just talking about stoners. Like, everybody's in a vibe. Like, perfect trip. Highly recommended. All right, you guys. So sadly, I'm leaving Amsterdam. I'm catching the train to get to the airport. I'm actually very, very late. It's 8:30 and my flight starts boarding at 9:30. But the airport is 20 minutes away, so I'm hoping for that to be okay. I already have a boarding pass, but I only have to go through security. So yeah, hoping this works out. Yeah. So we'll hope for the best.